step in history. He's the man with a plan, but the next stage called destiny. Deep state in the back rooms, loving chaos and gloom, dreaming up their evil schemes. But the man in the White House, he can wipe out all the fake news on the TV. He's the man with the plan, and it's not what it seems. He's a man with a plan, and it's not what it seems. Hey, how you doing out there? Woohoo! Anybody around? This is Bob on Bob's Blues in the News. A little tune I did some years ago called Man in the White House. It's like an ode to President Trump. Ode to 45 and 47. Yeah, what a man, right? Some people love him, some people hate him. I mean, the people on the left that hate him, they would, as long as they can bring down Trump, they don't mind destroying the country. It seems like, the way they go against him for his policies, war in Iran, the way they go about him when he tries to make America great again. Anything he says or does, they go after him, and they don't care how much they hurt the country. Like this whole budget issue with the airport security, TDSA, what do you call it? Yeah, the people take care of security at the airport. They're not getting paid still, even though didn't he say he was going to pay for them or something? I don't know. I think Trump brought in the ICE people and put a little chill on the whole situation for security's sake. But, Trump does what he needs to do, and he's, he talks the way he talks. He walks the way he walks because he's the orange man, right? He's Trump, the orange messiah. He's giving the Pope a hard time because the Pope, is woke. And so he goes after him like he goes after everybody. And let's go tax him, he'll tax back. And he doesn't mix words. People say, it shows he's crazy. It shows he's losing it. It shows he's a tough dude. And he does get things done. Look, the stock market is back up, even though the war is not completely over. They are blockading the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is hurting, financially, economically. It's hurting bad. They might still have a few more rockets left. They might still have IRGC members hiding in the caves or wherever they hide. But, their money is running out, and I think they want to talk again. And so Trump has more or less won the war, even though the jihadists are not going away. There's always going to be some who, want to destroy civilization. So there's always going to be a fight, but at least we can keep it under control, more so than we have done in the past. 47 years of Iran has proven that if given the chance, these people will spread terrorism and chaos and murder and rape and everything else across the planet, which Iran has done. Of course, they had a lot of support from China, from Qatar, but, once you take them down for good, it's going to change the whole setup of the Middle East, no doubt about it. So today I'm pretty positive. It depends on what day you wake up. Some days you wake up and you're feeling blue. Oh my gosh, where's the world going to go? It's going to all blow up any second. And then the next day you wake up, the stock market's up. Things are looking better. The economy it seems to be improving. Maybe I got a few more pennies in my pocket, even though inflation is still here. And the oil prices are up, but at least they've gone down to 190 something now? And they were over 100 the other day. So, and tech is doing well, if you follow the stock market. There's a lot of production in the United States. A lot of things happening with SpaceX. Look, we just sent these astronauts around the moon again. That's a big plus for us, a big feather in our hat. So we got power and prestige and the know-how to do that. Not many countries can think about it. And we got the most powerful army on the planet. And Iran is not going to win this war, even though they'll keep on saying, that's talk. Keep on pushing it off and wiggle their way out of it. So they would eventually be able to build that nuclear bomb. But heaven forbid, I was listening to one podcast yesterday where the guy was saying, I'm getting clicks from my phone. Sorry about that. I should turn off my phone when I do my podcast because I get all these notifications. Of course, I could turn down the notifications too, right? But anyway, so what I was, I was listening to a podcast where the guy says that Iran actually had been testing missiles to drop an EMP on the United States. Basically, they're missiles that could be fired from a ship anywhere. You could have a ship, 500 miles off the coast of the United States and shoot one of those rockets with the EMP nuclear device, which, explodes above the atmosphere and knocks out all the power of the whole country. That would be, man, I don't have the words for it. It would put us on our knees. So thank God, literally thank God we have Trump to go after these guys because they are capable of doing anything if you let them get away with it. And we have been letting them get away with it for too long, 47 years. And enough is enough. But Trump, he's always willing to talk. He knows how to negotiate. You got to give the boy credit. So what else got to tell you? Oh, it's a nice day today. It's warming up. It's springtime in Atlanta. It's more like, it's getting close to summer temperatures in the 80s today, I believe. Things would be in the 90s this weekend. So, yeah, I'm feeling pretty rosy, even though I fell. Oh, my gosh, I was jogging yesterday, and I jogged down this, it's a cobblestone path that goes by Peachtree Creek, which is a nice area to go by. And one of the stones were out of place, and I tripped on that stone, and I fell hard on my shoulder. Ooh, I didn't break anything, but man, I hardly can lift my arm now. So I don't hope I didn't tear something like a rotary cuff or break something. I don't think so, but I guess I should check it out. Anyway, it's always something in life, right, to make life more interesting. But you just have to roll with the punches. You got to roll with it, baby. Anyway, I'm not going to stay on here much longer. Just giving you my 3 cents on a Tuesday afternoon. And look, stick with it. I know it's tough at times. I was talking to my wife actually yesterday about, remember when life was easy? I think before 9/11 in the United States and probably globally, things were more at ease, stable. You didn't have all this chaotic news every day to look at. And that was before the internet really took off as well. I think it agitates everything. So, yeah, so we've been struggling, and then we had COVID. We had 9/11. We had 2008 financial crisis with the mortgage industry. We had various scandals, politics out to galore with people calling other people names. There's so much hate between the politicians. Before 9/11, it seems like the Democrats and the Republicans more or less got along. Remember Bill Clinton? He was a Democrat on the left, but he got along more or less with everybody. He was like middle of the road guy. And then after him, man, they just went straight downhill to commie land. So, and we have so much division and, hate between the groups. But we didn't have that, before 9/11. But, the terrorists came to get us, and they shook everything up. And we've been shaken up. Talking about me falling and being shaken up yesterday, I guess it's symbolic of the whole world being shaken up. But you have to keep, I was going to say, you have to keep the faith. I keep on saying that every day. But really, you got to believe in a higher source. And you just have to go with the flow, with the punches, but speak up when you see something wrong. Do what you think you need to do to make things right, to make the world a better place. That's the purpose, really, of living, right? The only reason you're here is to bring down the divine, to make it, in my opinion, to bring down righteousness, to make the world a better place. Maybe you don't have to be so much into organized religion. Just be a good person, love the neighbor as yourself, treat everybody kindly. I speak to so many people on the phone who are foreigners because I do a lot of cold calling for my other job. I do financing. I have a little finance business. Sometimes I get on the phone and just call the leads. And a lot of foreigners are out there today. Not that I have anything against foreigners, but a lot of times they don't know the language. and a lot of times they are rude. I mean, they don't have that good old-fashioned red, white, and blue mama and apple pie American attitude, you know? They might come from Timbuktu or, I don't know, wherever. Not that I'm blaming any country or any culture. I don't want to point my finger at anyone particular or any culture particularly. But a lot of people have come here recently and play the victim card. They think they're beholden to what America can give them for free. And, they didn't come up with a Judeo-Christian background of loving their neighbor as yourself, for example, and those kind of principles, and the Constitution, believing in the Constitution, and believing in, democracy and liberty. So you have all kinds of people now that you have to deal with, and then you got AI. So a lot of times you're either dealing with, if you're out, calling or whatever in your business, you're either dealing with a machine or you're dealing with somebody that don't know another language and doesn't have the sensitivities of the Judeo-Christian background. They don't have the right attitude, is what I'm trying to say. Am I being racist? And the right attitudes means just being a nice person, They don't have the nice person attitude. I'll make it simple. Anyway, enough said. This is Bob on Bob's Blues in the News. I'll just continue with the man in the White House. He's something else, that Trump. The Orange Messiah. Hey, talk to you later. It's Bob on Bob's Blues and the News.
I got that feeling that something is up. All I can tell you is you best look up. I know it's crazy, but it just crossed my mind. I think we're running out of time. Man in the White House, he has to tweet out, so there's no doubt where he stands. Yeah, he thinks noble, the things more noble, fight for freedom in his land. He's the man with the plan for the next step in history. He's the man with the plan for the next fight for liberty. I got the notion, all this commotion will bring some pain to you and me. But don't get excited, now you can't fight it. You can't fight winning, you see. He's a man with a plan. Yeah, maybe it's our destiny. He's a man with a plan, and he's not what it seems to be. I got that feeling that something is up. All I can tell you is you best look up. I know it's crazy, but it just crossed my mind. I think we're running out of time.